Hey Coach, it's Coach Simpson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the third video in a series I've put out, so you may want to go back if you haven't already seen the other videos. We're talking about offensive tags. So the first video I talked about formations and motions, how those affect things, and by tagging, how we can get into multiple looks. Really simple for our kids. We talked about tags on blocking. Of course, I use buck sweep, but the idea I hope would apply to anything. But different tags we put in to give us solutions in the running game. So now we're going to flip over and look at the passing game. So what are some ways we can kind of apply this tagging system into the passing game? I grew up a Tony Franklin guy. That's kind of what I learned underneath. So I want to give him some credit for this. We don't use exactly the same terminology he does. We've kind of evolved it a little bit, but the concept is still the same. So he would throw what he would call a now or a fast screen to a receiver, and then he would tag which guy was catching the screen because it gave him the ability to throw it to anybody. So the way we've kind of taken that and moved it to get rid of the verbiage, we don't want the 41 or 51 or whatever because we're not two-sided like he was, where you had to, that we're going to throw it here. We will either mirror screens or we're throwing them to the obvious side like trips. Okay, so that's what we use this example for. So screen game, and then I'm going to talk about routes, how we will tag a route to switch it up a little bit. So let's say we want to throw a fast screen, what is called fast screen, and in our offense is auto built to throw the ball to the outside guy. Our kids learn that day one. If we call this, it's always going to the outside guy. If it's trips, quads, twins, a single, if you hear that word, we're running a screen to the farthest outside guy. Okay, then we have bubble, which we'll do to the farthest inside guy. So if it's trips, it's number 3. If it's quads, it'd be number 4. If it's twins, it'd be number 2. Okay, we wouldn't run bubble to a single. So that's the way we teach the screens. But we wanted the ability to tag and throw screens to different guys, a lot like Tony Franklin's system. Because for instance, I don't know what you guys see. We see a lot of this apex world. So if we see this, we're probably throwing the screen to number 1. All right. Sometimes though, you're going to get those kind of harder cover 2s that are trying to take advantage, or even the TCU adjust. They do all kinds of weird things. Where we're going to put our 1 really, really wide and put our 2 and our 3 not as wide. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry. Put our 2 and our 3 wide. Because a lot of times teams will line up here, then they'll line up here on number 3 and a safety. Now, you can see different looks, so just take this principle and kind of apply it to what you have. So we're going to use splits to kind of create space. Big splits, a lot of space. Throwing a fast screen to number 1, probably not a great idea. So we want to have the ability to tag throwing the screen to number 2. So we have a tag built in where we throw a fast screen and we say a tag word and it goes to our number 2 because of the space. So now we're going to block here, and now we get the ball to him really, really quickly. Right? That's tagging the screens to get them where you want them. All right? We do the same thing with our bubble. 99% of the time, we're going to throw bubble to number 3. But we could throw, let's say we got this scenario again, we could throw bubble to number 2 by using that same tag word. So it gives us the ability to throw a screen to number 1, 2, or 3. Of course, we have tunnel screen as well, which we can do the same thing to 1, 2, or 3 by using a tag. We teach our kids the general concept. We get into a game, we try to use splits to create space to figure out what's the best matchup. And a lot of times the kids kind of know, they get out there and they realize it should go to him because he's got the most space. They'll even want to call it themselves. All right, let's look at routes. So tags also would apply for us to route. So let's say we're running old school waggle. We're going to run old school waggle, which for us is a little different because we're in the gun. All right, boom, 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 and then whatever concept we've got, I think we run like this. This is what I'm commonly run. We change it each year depending on our quarterback. On the play side, the idea is the same. So sometimes we run a little swizz or whatever we've run. Whatever you got, don't let that be the focal point of this video. But this is, we just would call waggle. This is waggle, all right? So waggle, no adjustments. But if we want to tag the route, let's say for whatever reason, you know, they're playing like a quarters team or a cover 2 team, or this corner's undisciplined, or whatever you want to do, we can call switch on the play side and switch our routes. So that's our tag, and we'll switch the route. So this guy knows I'm supposed to run his route. Well, his route's a corner, so it's going to turn into a bend corner. This guy knows he runs an out, like a deep out. So I'm going to run the deep out. What you get is you get that nice little mesh, and you get that. For our quarterback, it's the same read. He's usually going to read the outside player. The guy bites up, throws his head, he bails, throws it short. Okay. For our receivers, they know kind of where they need to end up and how they need to adjust the routes. For a defense, so that almost is a completely different combo. It's going to be played completely different if you're a DB coach, where I'm getting guys that are now crossing and then crossing again. That's going to be a lot tougher to cover. But by using a tag, we can run the same pass concept, but our routes look almost look completely different, really, to a defense. So that's the idea of using tags. We do this in any pass we run. We can tag switch, and we can tag specific routes onto it. If we don't run around the corner, we could tag the go. We could tag the whatever. But again, it's the ability of using tags in your offensive scheme that allow you the flexibility of calling what benefits you the most on that play against that defense. I think that's lost a lot of times as coaches, is we run our system, what we have. We're not looking at what we're trying to attack. And having tags gives you the ability to do this without completely blowing your kids' minds and having to come up with a new play. Again, if you'd like more information on my specific offense, fbcoachsimpson.com. A lot of information on there. There's a free blog. You can join the membership group. Headsets is a free magazine. There's a lot of free stuff on there. There's also some kind of more premium materials you can get. If you're a book guy, a lot of books. You know, I had a lot of time during COVID, so I wrote a lot of books. Appreciate you guys tuning in this channel. Of course, you can just surf through this channel. If you haven't done so, I'd appreciate if you like this channel or like this video. Subscribe to the channel. If you got comments, I'd love to interact with coaches. This is how we all get better, I hope. I appreciate you guys' time.